Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakak, Wadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And this is an article from Zero Hedge dealing with Iran. It says here, Iran military base attacked with drones launched from inside Iran. Okay, and this comes in the wake of a couple of things, actually. Now, I believe there was another assassination of one of the Iranian generals, or not, maybe possibly not a general, but somebody in their their army or their military group. I don't remember the exact details, but that happened recently, and I believe they blamed it on Israel. And then you also now had this. Now, in the midst of all this, you've had Israel, which has come out, and said that they're planning to deal with Iran, okay, because they see Iran as a threat, and they want to deal with them. They're running simulations on destroying Iran, and so you've had this tension, especially back and forth between these two, which if you read the letter, I believe it was between Albert Pike and Giuseppe Mazzino. I think that was his name. Mazzino. I forgot the detail of his name, but there was I think it was the three the three letters of the World War, or the letter of the three World Wars, something along those lines. But it was concerning the three World Wars, and the Third World War involved the Zionists and the Islamic Republic. So it's not by coincidence that you have these two going at it. Okay, and as things are, the Lord started to stir things up with Gog, Russia, and NATO and all these other countries. Don't forget that the scriptures also talk about the least of the flock. All right, shall what does it say? Let me read that. I don't want to butcher it. So I'll draw them out. Okay, and that least of the flock, which we'll go into, is dealing with Israel. Okay, so now it says here, because it's only a matter of time before they do something that's gonna escalate and draw in these world powers that are already ready or at the verge of having that warlike tension. So as the scriptures say in the book of Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter, where there's a time of peace and a time of war, and right now we're in a time of war. So it says here, an apparent drone attack targeting Iran's Parchin military complex earlier this week was launched from within the country, the New York Times reported, suggesting the deadly incident followed a pattern of previous strikes carried out by Israeli operatives. Now, you may say, well, Dan, Israel, they've been doing this. Why isn't Iran doing anything back? But keep in mind that the Lord, Yahweh B'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, has everything on a timeline. Okay? And so, that there's when it's time, all right, he'll have this thing escalate as it needs to. Now it says blasts erupted as a research unit in the sensitive military site last Wednesday, or Slovakia at a research unit in the sensitive military site last Wednesday, killing a young engineer and injuring one other person. According to the Times, which cited 3 Iranians and 1 U.S. official familiar with the incident, the source said the attack involved multiple quadcopter suicide drones, but did not specify their make. It says, while Iranian officials initially said the explosions were the result of an industrial accident, the government later suggested the site was attacked, also identifying the slain engineer as Ihsan Godbegi, who it deemed a martyr. Given the short range of quadcopter drones and Parkin's significant distance from Iran's borders, Iranian sources told the Times that the assault must have been launched from within the country, not far from the complex. No actor has claimed responsibility for the blast, and Tehran has yet to publicly cast blame, though the Times noted that the attack fit a pattern of past Israeli strikes. Okay, so Could be, it could be they could come out and say Israel did it, find out if they did or not, or it just keeps on going. But at some point, as the Lord is setting everything up, now you're seeing a lot of things happening, very quickly, and on a large scale, on a global scale, things that are going to change the world as you know it forever. Okay, so all these things happening are not happening by coincidence, and you're having the mention of certain key players, all right, in these big prophecies, and now they're being mentioned in more and more. So now's the time more than ever where you're supposed to be on your watchtower, okay, measuring the times diligently, keeping your eyes on what's going on the news, and watching as well as praying, because as much as things are going on internally, things are also going on geopolitically, going on externally. Okay, gas prices are still going up, looking to hit $5 soon per gallon. Okay, and in that case, there was, I forgot who, maybe JP Morgan, who came out and said that by August you could be looking at $7 a gallon. All right, so it says the strikes on parking came just days after an IRGC officer, there we go, that's what I was referring to, was assassinated by gunmen in the Iranian capital, according to the Times. Now, these Iranians they go back, not even that they go back, they are the Persians, okay? So when you go back into history, for those of you who know, you're familiar with the history, and you deal with the Persian Empire or the Achaemenid Empire, that was the Iranians, okay? That was the Persians that were ruling that. Now, of course, you had, Medes in there too that were under them, but it was ruled by the Persians. So Xerxes, okay, and all them people, they were Persians. Today, you know them as Iranians, all right, biblically Elamites. So they're not, they got that spirit in them, and once the Lord stirs them up, they're gonna be ready. Second Ezra, the 15th chapter, talks about it. Okay, it refers to them as the Carmanians, raging in wrath. So they're gonna get triggered. All right, and when they get triggered, it's gonna get popping. They're gonna come with the rest of the Arab nations, okay, and they're gonna be ready. So right now, what the Lord is doing is He's preparing the way and setting things up. And when He says action, that's when it's all gonna, flow in nicely like a domino effect. And then really, it could be at any moment, because the prophecies they come like that. But we know that in terms of the war going nuclear, that has to come after the charagma, the MOTB, the CHIP, gets instituted out here, and is made a requirement. All right, it's mandatory. So it says Israeli officials told U.S. counterparts they were behind the killing, but Tel Aviv did not publicly confirm involvement in line with its typical policy. It says, in addition to the drone bombings and other assassinations targeting Iranian scientists in the past, a string of mysterious explosions have also rocked Iranian nuclear infrastructure in recent years, such as one high-profile incident in April 2021 at Natanz site, a major uranium enrichment facility. Yeah. And that's one thing that they fear as well. Iran, have developing nuclear capability, right? Nuclear weapons. So they try to keep that uranium enrichment real low. But anyway, I want to get a quick precept here. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 49, verse 20. And it says, therefore hear the counsel of the Lord Yahweh that He hath taken against Edom. Okay, and we know who the Edomites are today. It says, and His purposes that He hath purposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Now, when you look up the word flock, it can also be used as a metaphor or simile for a multitude. And the subject here we're dealing with are the Edomites. Okay, so surely the least of the flock, right? The least among the Edomites are the Amalekites. Okay, it says surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Meaning that Israel is going to do something that's gonna end up being like a vortex, right? Something is going to go down involving them that's going to draw out all these nations, all right, to that area, that region of that Middle East, to go to war, because the Lord said he's going to gather them over there to the valley of Yahweh. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them, because when they get drawn over there, it's going to be for war, and that war is going to lead to the destruction. All right, and that land over there is going to be destroyed, as well as the land here in America. Okay, and that's according to biblical prophecy. So that's why when we see these articles here and, you know, information like this, we pay attention to it, because it's tied to biblical prophecy. All right, so with that, I'm going to end it here. Lord willing, that was edifying and informative to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakha Kodesh. Until next time, Shalom.